Come on. Oh,
we got the dopest intro. I don't care what nobody say.
You biased because you picked it. You biased though. You picked it though. So you know.
Right. Yes. Guys, welcome to the BOP, the BLERD official podcast. You just got dropped a nugget because Christi did pick the track that is the intro. I was like, when we first got started on this show, it was like, send me some music. And she's like, how about this? And then it worked. And then Dana actually picked, who's one of our producers, she picked the drum. Boom, dun, 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 dun. Like and so I just mixed the two. But welcome to the BOP, the BLERD official podcast. We are here. Yes, I know, right? The remix. I am Karan Ashley. Hilton George, how are you? How are you? The legend, the myth, the man, Hilton George.
All right. I was a myth, all right. At this past week, recovering from New York Comic-Con and all these people and bodies and walking and weather. And I mean, it was great. You would not believe this. We actually got a chance to see each other briefly. So many people.
Does it count?
So many people. It was like you run into somebody at an airport and both y'all late, so y'all can't really.
You both running like
it
this?
was the same. Everybody was catching flights back and forth.
Yes.
So that was the big highlight for me. And so New York is in my rotation.
Yes, New York is probably one of the best shows as far as fun, right? So Christi Renee is in the house. This was Christi's first New York Comic-Con. Her first. She was like, I'll cut you if you don't take me to New York.
Listen, I was going to be standing outside on the corner.
I had 18 assistants at New York Comic-Con, and Christi, you were one of them.
Oh, my God. Yeah, my cherry was definitely... squashed.
Oh God! What are we talking about here?
What happened to you at New York Comic-Con?
There's a Comic-Con.
I don't know how your weekend went.
Whoa! This is a family-friendly show. Family friendly.
Listen, when you leave a place walking different, it changed. It did some stuff. It did some things to you.
You got to save all that for the BOP Plus, Christi.
Yes. Like, what are we doing with our life?
Listen,
oh my God, walking different.
Our fans and our viewers, they deserve the full uncut,
but we got more and uncut.
We got so much more cool stuff coming to really show our experience at New York Comic-Con. But yes, it was my first time. I was speechless about just being able to be there and experience it. And it was everything and more that I had imagined and hoped for. And I loved it.
I
just want to correct the record. So I saw Christi probably longer than I saw Karan.
Yes.
And she was not speechless. She was mile a minute. The same energy you see here was the energy she had standing in that mob. Like, and let me tell you something. And this, and then we're gonna do this. We're gonna get this shot real quick. Sit up straight. I mean, she was not.
I was producing and directing and doing the day.
She was doing it.
I tried my best.
She was doing it.
I wanted to make Mama proud. The one right here.
I'm proud. I'm already proud.
Speaking of mamas, I got to meet your daughter for the first time.
Yes,
she came by the table,
Heaven.
And it was like the same picture. It was kind of freaking out for a second because I was like, wait a minute.
Young,
am I getting punked?
The OG original version and the newer version.
Oh, girl.
Yeah, I didn't call you old. I said young. I said young, referring to Miss Heaven. Heaven is young. She's what, 20, 18? She's 18 years old.
She's younger. I'm young.
Yes.
She's younger.
Okay.
I always tell people she's the pretty twin. She's the pretty twin.
You guys honestly look just alike. Like twinning. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well,
I find that.
I should probably interview her as well because she had a blast just for the short time she was there. So
she had the same energy mom had. She wasn't being like super shy.
They say the same things. Like they say the same phrases. Like you're like,
I was like, wow.
Good time.
Yeah. Like Heaven came to help me at a con. Christy was busy and couldn't come, and she was like everything Christy would say, she would say. I was like, even to like buy me a drink. And I was like, girl, your mom.
Look, Karen, did she, but I just want to know this. Did she get the door for you? Because you know how you are with doors and me.
No, I don't know that she did. I think, I don't know. I think I got the door for her. I need a refund.
It'd be like that.
Christy is like my mom when we're on the road. Like she takes care of me. She opens the door. Like she's like, I just like stand there and she just hurries me along. But I love it because I need it. Because I'm like, at like day 2, I'm like, oh, why do we gotta go? Oh.
She eats that up. I love it.
Yes,
I love it. So New York Comic-Con,
yes. We're going to have a whole episode. Christy is producing. This is her first production. She had some great interviews. She got some amazing footage. I obviously was held hostage to my table because I was signing there, but this is, it's going to be amazing. I've seen some of the footage already. Her and Hilton were, conquering the world. I know she interviewed you, Hilton. How was it to be interviewed by her? That's like,
It was weird because she had this thing. It was like this setup with this bright
she was
light.
Real serious.
And it was like, so it was like, it was like a turret, and she had like this bright light, and she's like, all right, go. And I'm like, oh snap, like
action.
Right. She wasn't trying to be smooth with, sometimes an interview will like kind of set some off to the side, like it's not there, and try to be organic.
No.
She was like, and
in your face.
Right.
Yes.
So we got the chance to do that, and she had that thing running. Like it was like, okay, she got footage on that pro setup. I know it's gonna be hot. So I'm really looking forward to seeing, because she made her way around. So I know she saw more important people than me, and people will have more to say to me. And she probably stopped some cosplayers and just got some good FaceTime.
I didn't look for nobody harder than Hilton George. It took me 23 minutes to walk in 7 circles and find that spot. That booth. And I think that was because, again, I always say we're like a myth. We're never really all in the same place at the same time. And so it's like, do people really think we know each other? Well, especially Karen and I are often together when we get to travel, but this guy right here, like if we can catch you. And it was so crazy because when I first set out to go find you, got to the booth and they were like, he just left. And I'm like, golly, he just left.
He came to see me.
Headed to come see y'all.
Yeah, I went to see you, and then you came to my booth, and I doubled back, and see.
But it
was a mess.
I was determined. I came back, and then we got some really good stuff. I'm excited to share.
Now, see, the thing that people need to know, if we're going to talk about New York Comic Con, we're going to talk about it from the perspective of the people that's working it.
Okay.
They have got a way of dampening the cell signal, so none of your apps
they turn it off.
After about, like, if they open the doors at 10, you got till about 10:30 before they have it's a dampening field.
Oh, right? I bought that expensive Wi-Fi because I couldn't have the damping.
Wi-Fi. Yeah, you got it for your transactions. Most people, and what happened was on Tuesday and Wednesday, when everybody was setting up and they were, you could check your signal. Oh, I can run my square off.
It was cute.
I got my hotspot.
Real
and then
cute.
They turned them. I pointed to them. I showed them, like, look, there they go. And they're like, oh, snap, that's what that is. Like, yep. They turn that thing on. Everybody's signal goes down. So we weren't able to communicate
at all
or anything while we were in the show. But the minute you step outside of the Javits Center and hit that sidewalk, all your messages and all your apps wake up. And it's just like just hitting you. And so if you're going to a New York Comic Con, the Javits Center does this. It is legal.
It is very legal.
It is very legal. And there's 1,000 ways they can justify it. But then when you go into that little guest services, and he said, how much is the Wi-Fi? It ain't like no $15 like at the Hilton Garden Inn.
$350
or something like that for the whole weekend.
$340.
One device.
Yes.
You got one device.
Yeah, you can't, and they do it for you. You can't do it yourself.
Well, and they were like, you're on a secure network. Like there was no, I was like, oh shoot, dang, oh God.
I'm serious.
Ain't no hacking.
Easier. You can use your phone at the White House, but you can't use it at New York Comic Con.
No.
I'm telling you.
You're gonna be safe from Al Qaeda at New York Comic Con because none of the bombs is going off. They're gonna be like,
no.
Look, the dampening field was so bad that my Bluetooth speaker didn't even work. My phone talking to my Bluetooth speaker was not working. I had to plug a laptop into the speaker with a coax cable.
People were like MacGyvering it.
I'm like, what in the world?
We saw some MacGyver setups. Like, it's just like, well, that's the thing though. If you're going and you're going just to have fun, then maybe it's a good thing. Maybe you need to unplug and maybe you just need to enjoy your weekend. But if you're going and you're gonna, like, you know, you're promoting your con or you're promoting your show or you're promoting yourself, whatever, if you got a booth there, go ahead and take the plunge and buy the $340 Wi-Fi. That is good for the whole weekend. Save now.
Get your coins aside.
Add that into the Comic-Con hotel / cab / train / that's the thing about New York. This is why we were so tired, because it's like a freaking hike just to get in that mug. Like, you got to, like, there ain't no hotel across the street. You know, like, you just like, oh, I'm in the hotel, or I can go across the street. Convention center's there.
No, you ain't.
You have to, like, it's at least a half a mile walk. And then when you finally get there and you walk them, and this is the thing, they say, oh, it's just 3 blocks. Them New York blocks are long.
They different.
They're different.
That's a whole different animal right there, boy.
Getting them every day, and they are
different. And so you finally get in there, and then it's like there's the crowd, and then there's this, and so when you leave, it's even hard to find food. Like, we went to how many places to eat one night? It was like 4 or 5 places. Like, people were getting mad. It was like,
if you are within 4 blocks in any direction of the Javits Center, food is not an option.
Not an option.
You got to go away, or you just got to go cheap and just, you know, go head toward the Times Square area.
Hit a bodega
get those little slice of pizza or something. But getting in to sit down somewhere with 150,000 people in any given day.
We had a party of 10. I don't know how we did it. Like, I don't know how we did it.
Party of 10.
We had 10 people with us, and we were just like, dang. Well, one night we had to just rent out a restaurant area and just say, okay, everybody, this is what it's gonna cost each person. Boom, boom, boom. And then another night, we just got lucky because they had a back booth, and we all just, like, it actually worked out really well. Really good Asian restaurant. Like, but it's like you said, it's just impossible. And so after the 4 days, you are exhausted. Like, you have worked, your muscles hurt. Like, you worked out on your Peloton.
I'm gonna do a whole segment on, and matter of fact, I might interview it. The blister that formed about this big on my foot.
You had a blister.
It's like another person.
I told you to wear some New Balances. You trying to be cute?
Yeah, I was.
My sister had a blister too, Christy.
Like,
I know I wasn't the only one walking
naturalizers.
I literally was hobbling.
Yeah. I literally told both of them, my sister and Christy. I was like, I told my sister especially, because she is queen of the heels and cute sandal and I said, girl, this is New York. We're gonna even when you don't want to walk, you still gotta walk. Like, you just end up walking. So do not wear cute shoes. Have your, tennis shoes, your sneakers, whatever. The most comfortable shoes, those are the shoes you bring, and you just wear them with every outfit. It don't matter. This is what it is. Everybody's gonna have this on, so it's not like you're gonna be underdressed. Everybody's gonna look like this.
She and it's crowded, so nobody's gonna see.
Yeah, no one cares. And so she brought some sneakers, but then she also brought these, like, cute boots. Like, it was like these little, like, them boots, like Doc Martin, like patent leather, cute. And I was like, girl, she was like, why do I have a blister on my toe? And I'm like, because I told you. This is what happens.
I'm gonna do a whole I'm gonna talk about shoes. I'm gonna
talk about the shoes, talk about the Wi-Fi, and the thing that we got to consider. This is the population I think that's the most affected by this is the content creators. You know, those people that like to do check-ins and go live and all that stuff.
Ain't no live.
That is dead on the floor.
That's a nightmare.
You don't have the Wi-Fi, and I know a lot of y'all
pre-record.
You got brand relationships. And but a lot of these brand relationships, they want you to go live and they want you to do this stuff from this. And that's something you got to factor in now
Well, you got to tell your brand.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got to tell that brand you got to sponsor the Wi-Fi for the weekend. Because
you want me checking in live.
Yeah.
It's been brought to you by, Winchell's Donuts. Hey, guess what? You got it.
Winchell's Donuts. Right. I will say this. Once the Wi-Fi was active, it was steady. There was no outages. There was nothing.
I played
my Bluetooth speaker.
Afford that.
I played my right. It's just me and like 5 other people. It's just me and like 3 other people. But yeah, I played my Bluetooth, and we had a whole Michael Jackson concert at the booth. Lord. Like, it was amazing. But enough of that. We're going to save the rest for our episode, our New York Comic Con episode, which Christi is producing. Shout out to Christi. She did it. Shout out to the stabilizer. And shout out to the blister that formed on her foot. Our new friend, Mr. Blister.
Yeah, Mr. Blister.
Naturalize a sponsorship for next year.
Right. Next year, we need a sponsor. We need, Dr. Scholes needs to
get on that. Get on that. Come on, Power. Get on that.
Yes. Oh, me? I got to get on it. Like, I didn't get a blister. You did.
Look,
here's your chance, Christi.
We got to use the clout.
He always wants to give me another job. Like, I ain't got 18,000 other jobs.
She's my manager.
I'm her publicist. Everything. That's why she has to get the door for me. I don't feel bad when I'm like, girl, like because when you're at the hotel and you get to the hotel and you can never find the key. Like, I'm that person who the key always gets lost in my bag. My bag ain't but this big, but it's like it's somewhere in there. And so she's the door whore, and she has to get the key.
That was supposed to be a quiz question for the BOP Plus followers.
Okay, well, the BOP Plus, I've given the answer. One day it'll pop up in the BOP Plus. What is Christi's nickname? Door whore, because she has to get the door because she's the only one who can keep up with the key.
Crazy. She's crazy.
Yes, crazy. Okay, so guys, there have been so many things going on. Oh my God, many cool shows coming out. There's just been like, and it's one of those things. We're in a strike, so we're not getting a lot of new content. So when new content just does arrive, it's amazing. And this, this week we have gotten one of the coolest shows ever. I mean, I give it up to Marvel. We always give it up to Marvel, but when they started creating Loki, the series on Disney Plus, if you don't have Disney Plus, I don't know what you're doing with your life.
There's stuff.
This is one of those shows. Like, if you're not into, Marvel, or you're not into like superhero stuff, Loki is actually a show that is done differently. Like, he's a, superhero, but it's also like real storytelling, real character development.
Yes.
And like ridiculous acting that's happening on this show. And this is something that I feel should like get some recognition. Like, this show is just so good. So we've gotten the first, 3 or 4 episodes, and it's been amazing. Hilton, how have you felt? Because you and I have always been fans of Loki. We've always been like, oh my gosh. And we've waited a long time to get this season 2. How did you feel when we got the Loki season 2?
It kicks right off where season 1 ended, which is cool because if you do the recap, there's no real time lost, no pun intended. Also, it's got a lot of Easter eggs, which I like. I like the fact that they are telling a story that is very layered. The characters have a lot of depth. We've gotten to know them. Owen Wilson's character, Mobius, he's a scene stealer.
I love
Owen
him.
Wilson is he's a great actor. He's anything he's in, he shines. So to watch him, come back into this character and watch them do this buddy cop, routine that they did in season 1 on a caper, trying to find the secret, it's kind of that type of thing. And we got to meet another variant, if you will, of Kang, of He Who Remains, Victor Timely, which with Jonathan Major, as an actor, he's going to give us, this performance that is every Kang is different.
Every Kang is different.
And he has given us a origin story of who this variant or this original or whatever it ends up being of Kang played, so well. And it's just really, really intricate storytelling. not everybody likes time travel stories.
Right.
Not everybody likes to keep track of timelines. Everyone's not a fan of Doctor Who for that reason. Not everybody's a fan of Rick and Morty for that reason. Even some of the comic book stories that kind of mess with time, and even the time stories that they've had with the movies in Marvel have kind of thrown people off. But if you like this kind of thing where you're like, oh, okay, they did this one thing and it changed and made a branch timeline, and now they're in that timeline and everything's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
It's not so complicated. Yeah.
It's a whole saga. And if you're paying attention, they make it easy enough to follow, which is what I like about the story. Because just like you said, if you're not someone who is familiar with the time saga, if you're not familiar with the Kang Dynasty from the comics, if you haven't seen every Marvel movie,
it doesn't matter.
You can still enjoy this show because Tom Hiddleston is not only the lead actor playing Loki, but he's also executive producer. So he is actually responsible for a lot of what you see on the screen. And there's a lot on the screen. And so I'm enjoying every minute of it, even when there's not some big special effects moment or some huge cliffhanger reveal. It's still like, oh my God, I just loved watching this 45 minutes of Loki and all the characters dancing around on the screen, telling the story and moving the plot forward. So yes, it's a big hit for me. I will not miss an episode.
I know, right? It's like every Wednesday, I'm like, okay. I know that that's the thing. I think I want people to really understand, like, if you have not seen a million of the, Marvel movies, or if you haven't, had the chance to dive deep into any of this stuff, you don't have to. This show can stand alone. This show is something that, it really kind of just has its own thing. Yeah, it dips back into that stuff, but if you just watched it on the surface, you're gonna enjoy it. And like Tom Hiddleston, I mean, man, I'll be the first to say Loki was never one of my faves. Like it was like he wasn't in my top 5, Marvel characters. He just, I don't know why. There's like 20 of them. So it's hard to like pick who, it's like if there's a movie with 20 people, it's like your top 5 are who probably people you relate to or people you like. I don't know. He was never that. But for him to have this series and the way he is just magically, Loki is such a cool, deep, character. He's gone beyond what we saw in these Marvel movies. He's not just the mischievous guy. It's like he's got heart. He's got like he sees the bigger picture. And I think that's what season 1 kind of did for me. Season 1 of Loki had Loki grow up, and it kind of, he saw the world in a bigger way, and he saw the mistakes that he made. He saw all the mischief and what it did, and how he was looked upon, and where he wasn't, probably the best brother, the best son. He was carrying all this baggage of just being mad that he wasn't Thor almost, and now he realizes like this is his moment to change the world. And that's kind of where season 1 ended, where he was like, this is my moment to make a positive difference, as opposed to being the bad guy. I literally could be the hero because I see what's happening. And so, like you said, season 2 picks up on that, and it's just amazing. And then he's surrounded by all these amazing people. But Christi, what are your thoughts? Because you are new to Loki, because we were like, we kind of put you in a headlock, probably like a year ago. And we're like, Christi, you need to watch Loki. We know you're going to love it. And you did, and you loved it. So now here we have season 2. How are you feeling?
Well, again, to expand on it, this was a show I was like, oh my God. Like I really did like the character Loki that I would see in the Avengers or when I watched Thor. I didn't have anything against him. I thought, oh my God, he's a tricky ass, but but I think as we got closer to the end of the Avengers and that whole bit with Endgame or Infinity War or whatever the last time we saw him in, it all starts to become a blur when you're watching 12 million other things. But I was like, ooh, I like the actor so much. And then when I finally, came out of the headlock that y'all put me into, the threats and everything else, I was so pleased. And when we got to the end of that, I was like, I remember binge watching it. I watched it all the way through. I did one whole day or night of just watching it all together. And I could not wait for this next season to start. So I was like, oh my God. And of course it's been so long and we've been through so much over the last, 9-10 months.
Yeah.
But here we are. The cast the acting is so good. I think Hilton, you just touched on how, because if you don't know the whole story, you don't have to go watch all these different pieces to try to figure out where we are in this. I think the reason why that formula works, or why that theory is true, is because of the cast. That they are the writing is so good. It is so there's nothing superficial about it. And again, the character itself, well, everybody has this duality, with the exception of the wonderful Jonathan Majors, who I'm still rooting for. Go Jay. I think everybody has this duality, and Loki is one of those characters. When you talk about, character arcs and developments, and like both of his characters, his mischievous side and his, I think I'm actually a superhero side, they both are they have these arcs. And there's kind of a tug and pull, but I love watching it unfold and just see where he's going. And again, I think one of these days, I always imagine I should do like some fandom stuff, fandom writing, and imagine him in becoming an Avenger.
Right.
like a full-on Avenger. He's gonna join the crew. He's gonna meet up and in holograph and all of that. So no, this series is really, really, really good, and I'm very excited.
You touched on something.
Fell in love with it.
There's something I want to circle back to that I think you emphasized, and rightly so, Christy, was the cast. And one of the things that we got this year or this season is the addition of Ki Hua Kwan. He's playing what is his nickname?
Obi.
And I mean, he is just, I hate to use this word because I don't want to sound like I'm making it sound precious, but he's a treasure. Like every scene he is in is just amazing, because he just has this energy and this presentation and this interpretation of this character called Obi, who kind of works in the guts of the TVA. And he's been down there for hundreds of years, and nobody comes to visit him. He has no human contact. No one knows where he's from. He doesn't really know. All he does is what he does. And he's so matter of fact about everything. Oh, we're gonna die, and they're like, oh, no. And he has no sense of irony. He's never like really joking. He's super pleasant, and it's like a scene where like Mobius says, well, we can hack into the system so that the doors will close and the catastrophe will be averted. And he's like, that's a great idea. You know how to do that? And he's like, no. He's like, oh, so we're back to gonna die, right?
Right.
Like someone was saying something in concept, and he was like, yeah, that's exactly what we should do. Great idea. Oh, wait, we can't do that. So him being a part of this, I think he's going to have a big role in the series going forward. They're doing something with this character, and I can't wait to see what it is. His ascension after his Oscar for Everything Everywhere Always has just really been an amazing resurgence. And it is ironic that he was in that movie that was about time and dimensional travel, and now he's starring in the show that kind of stands on the same premise and even uses a lot of the same terminology and everything. So he is the main addition. He's one of the new people that you see there, and he is doing an amazing job. And I'm really keeping an eye on his character because he's doing some great stuff.
Yeah, no, Obi is, like you said, he is a treasure. And what I like, what's funny is like, he was Data in the Goonies. It's almost like Obi is Data grown up.
He has the same voice. He has the same timbre. He is the exact same.
And he's like, he has some sort of like magical thing that happens with him. Like, it's like just the way he talks, and he's bright. Like, he's one of those bright people.
It's a childlike quality.
That
he brings to
very
everything.
much so. The innocence. He has that, the essence of innocence about him.
You want to know something that's crazy?
It sucks you in. He sucks you in.
What's
you want to know something that's crazy? Remember those amazing fight scenes and Everything Always all the time? I don't say something different every time.
Everything Always all at once.
All at once. There you go.
One of those
amazing fight scenes. He actually choreographed those. He is a fight stunt performer.
Wow.
That's what he does. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, are we going to get to see him do some Jackie Chan
in
Loki?
Like, don't have him in here and not use don't utilize all his talents.
Like, wait a minute. I've seen him with nunchucks. I've seen him with fighting staff and dual swords, doing some amazing stuff. And I'm like, okay, they might be able to throw something in here that we didn't see coming. Yeah. So he's got as an actor, he's got some amazing resources, and I want to see if Marvel's going to put some of that on screen.
You know what? I hope they do, because this is the thing. Like, every single character that they introduce, you think it's one thing and it ends up being another. Like, that's the beautiful thing about the storytelling and the writers and the people that they have writing these series. It always unfolds. Like, it's almost like an onion. You get this one thing, and then by the time the series ends, it's just they've experienced so much, you get something else. And so, obviously Loki is really new right now, so we don't want to spoil things for anyone, or we're not going to give any major plot things. But one thing I will say is that all of the characters from season 1 are a little different in season 2 because of what they've learned and what they've experienced. And even like the character of Sophie, like, I love, like, she, one thing they realize at the end of Loki season 1, so I don't think this is really a spoiler, is that they realize that, they were stolen from their lives. Mobius, Sophie, all of them, they were all taken from their lives and put into this world. And they realized, like, there was life that was lived, there were memories that have happened, and although they're here now, it's like, it's almost like the series opens up of, don't you want to know, like, who we were? Don't you want to know? Right. Like, and they all know at some point their minds were wiped, like, they've been manipulated. So it's like, it's one of those things where I think it's just such a in depth. Like, can you imagine, like, you're living your life and you're just living this mundane life and you just have all these dreams, and then one day you realize that you're in this alternate world and they've basically fed you your dream, or they fed and they've kind of just, and there's like this whole life that's happening out there, this whole life that you could have that you lived, and you were taken from it. And now you've been put in this desk job. Like, I don't think we've ever even seen outside of that office anytime they're there. Like, I think that whole outside part is like a miss. I don't even think that's real. Like, I think that's like a movie playing or something, because it's just so crazy. And even like people like Obi, like you said, we don't know who he is. We don't know where he's come from. So, there's mystery that lies there. Like, it's gonna, and I really think, like, it's gonna be something crazy. Like, the conspiracy theorist of it all.
I think you touched on what the basic core plot or subplot of this season will be, is that the members of the TVA are realizing that they were stolen from timelines. Basically, they are all variants, which is the thing that they hunt and prune, and kill. You take people out of an alternate timeline, then they destroy that timeline. Everyone you've ever known, everything you've ever seen, your whole universe is gone. And then they wipe your brain, and then they make you an agent, or they make you a soldier or a hunter or any of those things. And that's all you ever thought you were. For however many years or centuries or whatever you've done it, that's all you know. And we're starting to see people peek through that in real time, while they are now trying to save the TVA, because it's a real threat to all of the timelines if they don't fix all the things that are wrong. And that's kind of what's propelling the plot forward, and it's opening up these scenes and these new characters like Victor Timely, who is played so eccentrically by Jonathan Majors. But the cool thing about him is that he is what many people are postulating, the original Kang. Like, he is born in this time, and when you meet him, he is on the sacred timeline. Means he has not been touched by variants or by anything else until they do something that alters his course. And then when they revisit 25 years later, as you saw, they are on an alternate branch timeline that they created in the previous jump. So it's like you're watching in real time. This man is creating himself in this loop. And it's like He Who Remains never referred to himself as a variant. He said, my variant, the original person who discovered these timelines, was a 3,000 years in the future scientist who discovered all this stuff. Like, oh, he's a variant of you. He Who Remains was original. We just met an original variant of Kang. And like, oh my God, what kind of stories are we going to learn about who Kang is if he's going to be He Who Remains, Kang the Conqueror from Quantumania, the bad guy, and, you know, this eccentric guy we just met. So it's going to be a really, really cool arc for the story.
Already, he's played 3 different characters.
I mean, already the talent in that alone just deserves its own, you know, platform to really like dive deep. What I love about this story is, and Karen, you touched on this, I think, and you encompass this, is the humanity of it and how we're learning about ourselves. Like I love movies like The Truman Show, and you think about how somebody is some greater thing that takes this one life and controls it from start to almost finish, and realizing that, you know, it's the lifting of the veil, it's the epiphany that happens, the
like
revelation.
The Wizard of Oz,
you know, pulling back the curtain and realizing this is a fraud, this is a sham. So I think that's the relatable, the very palpable and tangible piece to this. Again, people hear Marvel and they think everything is all, you know, I don't know what people think.
And I
don't really care.
But this is different. Disney Plus is taking the different, you know, we're getting some real television series here. And some real cinema.
I think it's a formula, though, again, over the years that Marvel has started. They started some time ago perfecting that, reaching the heart and talking to, you know, and illustrating humanity in all our mess and all of our, you know, imperfections. And they are doing it so well with this series, just like other series that they've had. I mean, again, they're doing it. Nobody say.
I think we're on episode 3 of season 2, and I think it comes on Thursdays now. Disney is doing something different. Disney Plus. Some people like it. I understand why they do it. I don't like it because I'm a super fan. You used to be able to stay up till 2 a.m. You catch a new episode, whatever is coming up that morning. And like I do, I'm nocturnal. I'll be 2, 3 in the morning working.
Right.
And no, Loki comes on at 9 o'clock on Thursday.
It's like a
you
TV
ain't getting
show.
no Loki before 9 o'clock.
Series.
You can get it after 9 o'clock. You can start anytime you want to after 9 o'clock Thursday.
Yeah. Why don't you just look at it like? No. Why don't you look at it like, you know, it comes out on Friday, so then at 2 a.m. you can still see.
Then I'm late. Now I'm 12 hours late, and now I can't go online. I can't go on the internet because everybody's talking about stuff. And
right.
I got to do this.
Please stop doing that, world. Please stop doing that, social media world. Stop talking about everything instantaneously. Like, why are people compelled to do that? Like, I've never walked out of a movie and then said, okay, let me go live. Like, I want people, I literally am one of those people. I want it to unfold for you the exact same way it unfolded for me. Like, I remember sitting in the theater watching Infinity War, the opening night. Like, we were in Philadelphia. I'll never forget this. I talked 20 people, 20 Power Rangers into coming with me. I don't know how we pulled it off, but we all went to see Infinity War. And like, I remember like it was yesterday, where I'm sitting there and like freaking Thanos comes, he snaps the finger, and then, you know, all of a sudden Chadwick disappeared, and I screamed like at the top of my lungs. Like, once they started disappearing, like, I screamed. I want that to happen for you. Like, I want everyone to feel that moment where they're like, oh my God, what's happening? Why? Oh, like, that's what I was. I was a crazy mess.
There are people who can't see it that way. And they blurt, and they don't know how to put a filter on the mouth. And I got whole quadrants of people that once they get the spoiler, once they've seen it, it's just coming out. Even if this, I didn't tell you exactly. Well, you put a detail out there that let me know what happened, and 5 other things that happened just because you said so and so's alive, or ooh, so and so really fought their way out of that, or something. You're like, oh God, look at you! Like, can't you just
you know what I read? It's so weird. I read an article this week that says people who have no filter, or people who can't, like, they can't hold it. That's actually they are thinking it's a mental health issue. Like, it's an actual like issue that people just can't hold it. They can't, like, they have no like, that's something wrong. Something's wrong with you if you have no like set, like where it's like read the room, like, or just like you know, people you have to
no
go
awareness,
read
no
the freaking room. Like this person's crying because you're over here saying something crazy, or you know, and it's like, and they're like, what? I'm just being honest, and I'm like, I hate that person.
For some people, it's a learned skill.
Yeah,
and it either has to be taught or you have to be confronted in such a way. And as a BLERD. And the only BLERD in my adult family, I have to do that when I'm visiting family. Like, wait, everyone doesn't really care about what all 5 Infinity Stones do. I should let everybody eat dinner and just shut up and I should continue on with the blessing. And
I've had those moments too, Hilton.
Yeah, because I'll be like,
moments too.
And another thing, and see what you didn't know. See in the comments,
don't care about the sarcophagi. They
don't care, right? I get it, it's sarcophagi, and then it's a problem.
They don't care, it's not fair.
I get in my own world sometimes. I get in my own head, and I get excited, and my eyes roll, and I snap out of it. And I'm like, oh, I've been talking for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And everyone's waiting for me to stop
and everybody's like, they're looking at you like, yeah, no, hold on. But let me take it one step further. My husband does not care what the Infinity Stones does. So it's almost like, I was like sometimes I have to remind him, like, you know who you married. Like, I'm the geekiest, like the girl that you didn't think was a geek. That's me. You know, like I've told you this from day one. I showed you who I was. Why aren't you believing it? Because he's always like, you really into that stuff, huh?
That's their half of the conversation. You put some stuff out there, you expecting some real kickback.
Yes.
You threw some points out, and they'd be like, you really do care about this, don't you? Oh, like, you into that? That's my parents be like, oh, you into that?
Yeah. He's like, it's not real life. Yeah, and I'm like, you know, we've just gotten to a point where we realize I like what I like, he likes what he likes, and we just, you know, there's certain things we like.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah.
And that's the same space a lot of these folks are in who don't have a filter or don't realize how the words affect people once they leave their mouths.
You know,
and yes.
For some people, it might be neurological, but I think in this space that we're in, people are incessantly and grotesquely chasing. It's a rush, and that's in their character. That's a different space,
right? And social media has something to do with that, right?
Yeah,
like the attention, even the negative attention.
Your attention. You're running to be the first. You got to be the
breaking news.
The first, and it's a bit of a sickness, and it's sick at times. But in this space, you know, it's just like I think people just want to feel like they have some grip on controlling, you know, an ounce of knowledge that is literally limited to this tiny space. I mean, we're talking about a television show, people. Like,
right.
It's not.
And they want to be king of the geeks and like break the news first. And I'm like,
I have wisdom to impart upon you. Be still and receive my word.
That's what
it is.
Oh, like, this is gonna be a long drive.
It's like the king of the geeks. I'm like, why do you have to ruin it for everybody? Oh my gosh. Yeah. So
you gotta look away.
Right. Yeah. Don't get punched by me. That's all I gotta say. Don't ruin nothing for me, because I will punch you in the throat, like right in the part it hurts. Like where you're like you'll do that. You'll be like
catching your throat with an
you'll need a drink of water for at least 2 hours. There'll be nothing that can quench that thirst if you ruin something for real. Freaking, you know, I've got experience smacking people. Oh, don't try me. I've got 80 episodes and a couple movies under my belt. Where's my chancla? Where's my chancla? Where is it?
I mean, it ain't gonna hurt much because it's foam. It's like perfectly lightweight, but
it ain't supposed to hurt. It's just to snap you out of it. Get your attention.
If you got a Mexican mama, she can make anything sting. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just in the throat. It's in the wrist. Make anything. She can throw a piece of paper at you and you're like, what the heck? Okay, so not again, no spoilers, nothing, but 2 people that have risen to like my love. Oh my god. Please watch this show. Are Renslayer and Miss Minutes. And I mean, oh my God. And I didn't know Miss Minutes is voiced by Tara Strong, who is like one of the queens of voiceover. Like she does Powerpuff Girls. She's done.
Oh wow.
She's done what's the Rugrat? She's done the main Rugrat, I forget. She's everything. And she's doing the voice of Miss Minutes. So I mean, guys, it's like on layer on top of layer on top of layer of great characters.
She's playing a character that is so timely because we're having discussions about AI and the dangers of AI. And here is an AI that is, kind of in its obscene, extent, kind of there to rewrite her own code to constantly improve on self, independent of the creator. And you're just like, she was a robot and a little, just a little character curiosity in season 1. And we are really starting to understand how important or how impactful Miss Minutes was and will be to He Who Remains and the story. But oh my God, like she's kind of psycho. And, and I don't want to spoil anything because if I say the wrong word, seconds. You're within minutes. Like she's like really, like you're like, oh, that's what's going on over here. Like
it's like when you have that crazy girlfriend or boyfriend, and then you're like, oh my god, and then all of a sudden you're like, what? Like it was, Right.
And all you hit that button.
Or it's like blink twice if you're okay. It's like if you're not okay, blink 10 times. You're like, help me.
Creepy. I'm telling you, there are going to be cosplays and they're going to be.
Oh, I can't wait.
I saw this episode or the episode before that, and then I saw a Miss Minutes cosplayer at New York Comic Con. And
did you? I didn't know.
Yes,
oh my gosh,
it was this giant clock, and it was a woman wearing it, but it was like waist up. It wasn't waist down, so it wasn't like in the mid thigh. And I said, "Well, you got the thing. Was it kind of small?" She's like, "No, Miss Minutes is a hot mama, so I wanted my legs to be out." And I said, that's an interesting take. And then I saw the episode, and I was like,
"You're like, oh.
like
Miss Minutes."
But you had at Miss Minutes, she coming through the thing. So they're doing some stuff with this character that is going to be really interesting. Tara Strong is doing an amazing job.
Oh, Tara, congratulations.
The scariest and creepiest character. The deep dive stuff has always thought she was scary, powerful, and creepy. But there was stuff like, oh, that's deep dive. You can start piecing together stuff if you look hard enough. But now they're putting it out front. Like, she's conniving. She got an agenda. She's jealous. She's side-eyeing people. You a woman give you that side eye. You see the side eye. It's on.
And it gives you a glimpse into the dangers of AI, which is a world that we're living in right now. Like there are literally people striking a mile away from my home that are like, look, a whole group of us could have no job. A whole group of us can be replaced. And so, it's crazy. So
never goes well.
They
let us know. Film and television, entertainment lets us know. They have been letting us know this never ends well. Like it's not going to end well.
But isn't it like biblical almost?
Up and go into it.
Yeah, right. Isn't
it's destiny. It's our Ragnarok.
Right. Isn't it almost like biblical though? We've always known that we were going to invent something that would kill us all, that would like destroy the world. Like we were going to destroy it. Like we've done it for histories upon histories.
I was just working with somebody. I'm helping with a resume for a job, and they confessed to me. I was like, I need you to rewrite your cover letter to reflect ABC 1, 2, 3 hours of work tops. I'm going back and forth on LinkedIn, do this stuff. Yeah. This person hits me up and says, okay, and AI did this, but tell me what you think. I'm like, what? And I look at it, and it is like letter for letter, word for word, everything that I recommended in a full 1 page. And I said, we are in trouble.
We are in trouble.
Because if that is how quickly somebody who has even a rudimentary understanding of how, like, what is it called? Chat GPT and all these other AIs can work. And just put in like some key information, some core information, and let the blender go. And then you get a coherent document.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my God.
Like what is happening?
But
like,
wait,
yes.
Literally yesterday, I saw a hilarious meme, and someone said, yeah, clearly Chat GPT wrote this somebody's what is it called, obituary. And it was the worst. It was like they said the funeral is gonna be 1973. Like it was the words were all botched because
they just didn't know how to use Chat GPT.
Yeah, like, but it's like, oh my God,
I've seen some good stuff written from that shit.
Yeah,
and that's why those guys are striking. Because if they can, if somebody can say, I want a story about space wizards with worms and hamsters that write and talk and fly spaceship, whatever, and you can put the right core information together, and an AI can write a script.
Yeah.
And this was not like an hour. This came back to me in like 10 minutes.
Wow.
I've done resume writing. I hate cover letters. I know how long they take to write.
The worst.
And I'm sitting there like, oh my God, we are in so much trouble. So yeah, Ms. Minutes is a perfect illustration of the worst that could happen with this.
Yeah.
If we don't get our head around it soon. And I now really, really know why. Because like I said, if I was a script writer or somebody who was creating content, an artist, man, it's too much.
Yeah. Yeah. So you guys know we are going to, obviously, we love this series too much. We will revisit Loki once it's done, because we're going to have to do the episode by episode breakdown and the like all the moments that we just were thrown for a loop. We're going to have to revisit that. And we also, I mean, there's just so many like cool things, because if you're a Marvel fan, it's totally giving you Easter eggs on different things, and it's totally going to lead to other things, and it's going to foreshadow other stuff. And so you know how excited we are about all the stuff that are coming out this next year. But guys, I mean, we're kind of at the end of this episode. I mean, is there any last thoughts about Loki? If there was somebody, maybe one of the members of my family, who would be like, I don't want to watch that. I don't want that. I don't like that. What is your pitch to them? What are we going to say to them to get them to watch this amazing show? Because this show has got levels. Like, I'm hoping, we get a couple more of the series that we love. Marvel. I need the Winter Soldier and the Falcon. I need another season of that. That was literally my number one. But okay, if there was something we could do to persuade someone to get a 30-day trial of Disney Plus.
I'm not good with this.
You're not good with this? Oh, okay. Failed. Well, what did we say, Chris? You can tell what we said to you that made you go, I'm going to watch Loki.
Well, I mean,
other than you better watch it because we're going to review it.
Anybody's life over it, because I just said it's a TV show. No, I'm going to say, you know what?
I thought you were good with violence. I mean, you respond well. You responded well.
I didn't even cut your break line.
That's not for the show. You don't tell people that out loud.
I know.
No, I would simply say, watch it or we can't be friends. It's that simple.
There is an ultimatum in there somewhere.
Watch it. We can't be friends. I'm going to try that on my husband. I'm going to try that.
I forgive you.
The easiest thing I do, with you. Especially if you're dealing with muggles. Okay. It tends to be normies that are the ones who just kind of put up a block against anything animated or anything superhero related, is to kind of commandeer the TV when people are watching TV. And this works with my parents. Like, I don't make a big deal. If you make a big deal about it, you heighten expectations. All the shields go up, and they'll be like, no, this is stupid. You got me watching. The subject becomes you if you're the one fighting and fussing. So what I do is I'll be like, oh, okay. I just so happen to have all 10 remotes. This is my father's house. I have all 10 remotes sitting here on my lap when everybody comes in. Oh, look at this.
Not 10.
You can have the TV back as soon as my show is over. It's only 10 minutes. There's 45 minutes in it. There's only 10 minutes left in the episode. Just, when you get to the end of it, and then he calms down. He doesn't feel like there's any consequence to it. He's in front of the TV.
Yeah.
And it just happens by osmosis. Right. You do that little sneaky thing. I don't have any kids, but I've seen it done where like I make you feel like it's your idea, where they go, what is that show? I didn't think you'd be interested. I'm not saying I'm interested. I just asked a question. Oh, well, Just no. You want to watch another one? I mean, I don't really care about the Packers and Seahawks, so fine, we'll watch another one. Next thing you know, they're hooked.
They're hooked.
But that's how this show is. The show is good enough that if you can get them in 2 episodes, you don't have to do no more work.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the key. I would recommend the subtle approach.
Okay. So, guys, there's only a few minutes left on this show. Just when it's over, you can watch whatever you want to watch. We'll watch your show, or I won't be your friend. How's that? Did I do it?
I think that was a perfect combo.
Don't watch it. I'm not going to be your friend. Yes.
I like it.
There we go. Oh my gosh. Okay, so tune in next week because we are going to break down New York Comic-Con. If I have to hear the Jay-Z Rihanna song one more time.
Oh my God.
Every corner,
it every time. So
every block. I don't ever want to hear that song again. New York, you need a new anthem.
But if we listen, I just want to be clear. When we hear it, though, we all burst into song. We're gonna perform it all the way down the block.
Oh my gosh! And don't take those little pedaling bike guys because they will charge you $1,000 to take you across the street. We should have like an episode of like the do's and don'ts of New York for the first time.
That's gonna be part. That's part 2. That's part 2.
Yeah, we're gonna put it in our New York Comic-Con episode. We're gonna give you a list of do's and don'ts. But guys, thank you for watching the BOP, the BLERD official podcast. We love you. We mean it. Bye.
Tune in every Tuesday for a new episode of the BOP, the BLERD official podcast.